this is not a woke opinion, is that league valuations for all these investors have increased in 1 year 168%. That's not the fever. The fever with Caitlin's evaluation has got up 273%. The rest of the teams, on average, have risen by 100% or 168%, and all of them at least 100%. So if you're an investor, the contract's up, you're negotiating.
Recent developments regarding Caitlin Clark's groin injury indicate potential progress in her recovery timeline. The Indiana Fever star has been consulting with medical specialists across the country to address the injury that has sidelined her from recent competition. Clark traveled to New York for medical evaluations, though specific details about her condition remain undisclosed. Neither team officials nor medical staff have provided concrete timelines for her return to active play. However, encouraging signs emerged from recent practice observations.
Investor, the contract's up, you're negotiating, and your investment's gone up 100% in the last year minimum. Average is 168%. You're selling it? I'll give you an example. Is that in the last year, the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, has had a franchise, an expansion franchise. They're using the Warriors Arena. They sell out all their home games. That's not about Caitlin Clark. So some of you guys out
Video footage from Indiana Fever practice sessions shows Clark participating in team activities while fully dressed in practice gear. The footage reveals her engaging in jumping exercises and basic movement drills, suggesting her injury may be less severe than initially feared. These practice appearances represent positive developments in her rehabilitation process. Scott Agnes of Fieldhouse Files documented Clark's practice participation, providing the most concrete evidence of her recovery progress. During previous games while injured, Clark was observed standing and moving on the sidelines, indicating maintained mobility despite her condition.
Home games. That's not about Caitlin Clark. So some of you guys out there on the internet, you know, you are epidemiologists, you're experts in politics. You're not very good business people. You're all caught up on, well, the previous 25 years, they're hot now. And the negotiations are currently in session. The girls have the leverage. Now, would I have worn the T-shirts? No, it's silly, but who cares? It doesn't matter here or there. It just doesn't matter. It's something that people like media people talk about. It has.
The timing of her return remains uncertain, but recent practice involvement suggests a potentially shorter absence than initially projected. Her ability to participate in practice activities indicates progress in her treatment regimen and rehabilitation efforts. Concurrent with injury updates, significant discussions have emerged regarding WNBA salary structures and player compensation. The conversation gained momentum during recent All-Star Weekend activities when players wore shirts demanding fair compensation.
It's something that people like media people talk about. It has no impact. What has impact are those all-star ratings, the merchandise sales explosion, the ticket sale explosion, the TV rating increases, and more than anything, the valuation of the franchise explosion, and not just the Fever. And so they have leverage. They've got leverage. All negotiations are just timing. You know, I'm sitting there.
Dave Portnoy addressed the salary debate through social media commentary and video content, arguing that current WNBA player salaries fail to reflect the league's growing popularity and revenue streams. He highlighted the disparity between player earnings and league expansion, noting franchise values and attendance figures that suggest financial growth. Portnoy's analysis pointed to several key indicators of league success: television ratings increases, merchandise sales growth, ticket revenue expansion, and rising franchise valuations. The recent Golden State Valkyries expansion franchise commanded a $50 million fee, with projections suggesting future valuations could reach significantly higher levels. Current rookie salaries, exemplified by Clark's $76,000 contract, appear disproportionate to the revenue generation and market interest surrounding the league. Comparisons to other entertainment industry salaries highlight potential compensation gaps that may require addressing during upcoming collective bargaining discussions. Ken Swift supported arguments for increased player compensation, emphasizing that professional athletes competing in 44-game seasons deserve salaries reflecting their contributions to league growth. The perspective challenges traditional arguments about league profitability and subsidy requirements. Historical financial arguments suggesting ongoing league losses face scrutiny given recent growth metric. Franchise expansion fees, attendance figures, and media attention indicate potential shifts in the league's economic landscape that may not align with previously reported financial struggle. The debate encompasses multiple factors including television rights negotiations, sponsorship opportunities, and merchandise revenue streams that have expanded significantly with increased public interest. Clark's impact on league visibility has created leverage opportunities for players during contract negotiations. Portnoy emphasized that current growth trends suggest franchise values could reach billion-dollar levels within a decade, making current player salaries appear increasingly inadequate. The comparison between potential franchise purchases and player compensation highlights apparent market inefficiencies. Arguments supporting salary increases focus on revenue generation rather than charity-based reasoning. The league's ability to sell out major venues and achieve television ratings comparable to established sports indicates commercial viability that should translate to improved player compensation. The collective bargaining process presents opportunities for players to capitalize on their increased leverage resulting from heightened public interest and revenue growth. Star players like Clark possess negotiating power previously unavailable in league history. Commissioner leadership faces criticism regarding marketing strategies and player compensation approaches. The disconnect between league growth and salary structures suggests potential misalignment between administrative priorities and market reality. Rising stars including Angel Reese, Paige Bickers, and other emerging talents contribute to sustained interest beyond individual player impact. The development of multiple marketable personalities creates foundation for continued growth and revenue expansion. Sponsorship interest and corporate partnerships have increased substantially, creating additional revenue streams that support arguments for improved player compensation. The league's demographic appeal and growing fan base attract advertisers seeking access to engaged audience. Television rights negotiations represent significant opportunities for revenue increases that should benefit players through improved salary structures. Current broadcast deals may not reflect the league's enhanced value proposition and viewership growth. The timing of compensation discussions coincides with the league's strongest position in terms of public interest and revenue potential. Players recognize this leverage opportunity and seek to secure improved terms while market conditions remain favorable. Future franchise valuations and expansion opportunities suggest continued growth that supports enhanced player compensation models. The combination of star power, increased attendance, and media attention creates sustainable foundations for salary improvement. Clark's injury recovery timeline remains the immediate concern for Indiana Fever operations, but broader league compensation discussions will likely influence future contract negotiations and player retention strategy. The intersection of individual player value and collective bargaining power shapes upcoming league developments. The recent matchup between Indiana and Las Vegas showcased controversial officiating decisions that sparked intense debate throughout the basketball community. Multiple questionable calls during crucial moments raised concerns about consistency and fairness in professional women's basketball officiating standards. A particularly disputed sequence occurred when Aja Wilson made contact with Aaliyah Boston from behind during a contested possession. Officials ruled the play a jump ball rather than assessing a foul despite apparent contact that typically results in whistle calls. Boston's visible confusion and subsequent reactions highlighted the inconsistency of enforcement patterns throughout the contest. Coach Stephanie White exhibited uncharacteristic emotional responses to several officiating decisions, demonstrating frustration levels rarely seen from the typically composed sideline leader. Her animated protest reflected growing tensions surrounding call consistency and apparent disparities in how similar contact was adjudicated for different players. Statistical analysis of free throw attempts revealed significant imbalances between the teams. Las Vegas recorded 17 attempts compared to Indiana's 12 despite similar levels of physical play and aggressive drives to the basket. These disparities contributed to broader discussions about officiating consistency across different matchups and player classification. Wilson appeared to receive more favorable treatment on borderline contact situations compared to other participants. Identical physical interactions resulted in different outcomes depending on which players were involved, creating patterns that observers found difficult to explain through standard officiating criteria. Sophie Cunningham experienced several situations where contact that typically draws whistles went uncalled, while similar actions by her resulted in foul assessment. These inconsistencies became increasingly apparent as the game progressed and competitive intensity heightened throughout both squads. Boston faced comparable treatment disparities, with moves that Wilson executed without consequences becoming infractions when attempted by the Indiana forward. The systematic nature of these differences suggested more than coincidental variation in call recognition and enforcement. Despite officiating challenges, Indiana players demonstrated remarkable resilience and competitive determination. Their response to adversity showcased championship-level mental toughness that could prove valuable throughout playoff positioning and postseason competition. Kelsey Mitchell overcame early shooting struggles to deliver crucial fourth-quarter contributions. After connecting on just 4 of 19 attempts through 3 periods, Mitchell found her rhythm when the team needed scoring most desperately. Her 9 fourth-quarter points included the decisive three-pointer that provided Indiana with their final lead. Mitchell's clutch performance exemplified the type of situational excellence that separates good players from elite contributors. Her ability to compartmentalize early difficulties and execute under pressure demonstrated maturity beyond her experience level. Natasha Howard delivered her 6th double-double performance with 18 points and 13 rebounds while shooting efficiently from multiple areas. Her third-quarter scoring surge helped erase Las Vegas's advantage and establish momentum that carried through the final period. Howard's balanced contribution included defensive impact through 3 steals and surprising three-point accuracy. Her versatility created matchup problems for Las Vegas while providing Indiana with multiple offensive options throughout different lineup configurations. Boston contributed her own double-double with 13 points and 10 rebounds despite facing consistent physical challenges. Her willingness to extend shooting range beyond the perimeter created spacing opportunities that benefited the entire offensive system. Boston's adaptation to contact patterns showed growth in both confidence and strategic understanding. Rather than allowing officiating frustrations to affect performance, she found alternative ways to impact winning through shooting and positioning adjustments. Cunningham continued exceptional shooting performances with 15 points on 4 of 5 field goal attempts. Her three-point accuracy reached remarkable levels, connecting on 3 of 4 attempts while maintaining her extraordinary July efficiency rates. Statistical analysis reveals Cunningham's recent excellence spanning multiple games. Over her previous 6 contests, she maintained 58.1% three-point shooting while averaging 13.7 points per contest. These numbers represent sustained performance rather than temporary variance. Her shooting consistency has coincided perfectly with roster needs created by other players' unavailability. Cunningham's emergence demonstrates organizational depth and preparation that typically characterizes championship-caliber programs. Ariel McDonald provided the decisive scoring moment with 35 seconds remaining. Her clutch three-pointer secured victory despite mounting pressure from both opponents and officiating circumstance. McDonald's perfect three-point performance included strategic shot selection that maximized efficiency. McDonald's contribution extended beyond scoring through 4 assists and 2 steals in limited minutes. Her impact per possession demonstrated the type of role player excellence that supports championship aspirations across extended postseason competition. Lexi Hull contributed defensive intensity and hustle plays that created momentum shifts throughout contested sequences. Her commitment to defensive principles provided stability during periods when offensive rhythm faced disruption from external factors. Hull's reactions to questionable calls reflected team-wide frustration while maintaining competitive focus. Her ability to channel emotions productively rather than allowing them to become counterproductive demonstrated leadership maturity. Caitlin Clark's sideline presence remained influential despite her inability to participate directly. Her animated reactions to officiating decisions provided emotional leadership and validation for teammates facing similar frustrations during competitive sequences. Clark's visible support and engagement demonstrated commitment to team success regardless of personal circumstance. Her investment in teammates' experiences reinforced cultural foundations that extend beyond individual contribution. The injury situation made Clark's sideline experience particularly challenging, as competitors typically prefer influencing outcomes through direct participation rather than observation. Her passionate responses reflected both competitive drive and genuine concern for teammates' treatment. Clark's reactions provided confirmation for fan observations about officiating inconsistencies. When elite players express such visible frustration, it validates concerns about systematic problems rather than isolated incidents or emotional overreaction. Her sideline leadership contributed to team resilience during challenging circumstances. Even without direct participation, Clark's presence reminded teammates of their collective capabilities and championship aspirations. The victory demonstrated Indiana's evolved roster construction and depth development. Success without their primary star proves organizational strength that extends throughout multiple lineup configurations and competitive scenarios. This performance establishes important precedents for playoff positioning and tiebreaker advantages. Indiana's season series success over Las Vegas could prove crucial during postseason seeding determinations and potential matchup scenarios. Cunningham's emergence as a legitimate sixth-person candidate provides additional roster flexibility for various competitive situations. Her versatility allows coaching staff to implement different strategic approaches depending on opponent characteristics and game flow requirements. The timing of Cunningham's excellence coincides perfectly with roster needs, demonstrating both individual preparation and organizational development. Championship teams typically feature players who seize opportunities when circumstances require elevated contributions. Her defensive versatility complements shooting excellence, providing multiple ways to impact winning beyond pure scoring contributions. This combination makes her valuable across different lineup configurations and strategic implementations. Mitchell's clutch performance adds another reliable scorer for crucial moments. Her ability to overcome early struggles and deliver when needed most represents exactly the type of mental toughness required for championship competition. Howard's consistent double-double production provides front-court stability that supports various offensive and defensive schemes. Her rebounding and defensive impact create foundations that allow other players to focus on their specialized strengths. Boston's continued development adds another dimension to Indiana's offensive capabilities. Her willingness to expand shooting range creates spacing that benefits the entire system while maintaining her traditional strengths. The team's collective response to adversity suggests championship-level culture development. Their refusal to allow external factors to determine outcomes demonstrates maturity that typically emerges through extended competitive experience. Indiana's current positioning provides favorable playoff prospects with continued roster development expected throughout the remainder of the season. Their demonstrated ability to overcome challenges suggests potential for sustained success during postseason competition. The combination of individual excellence and team resilience creates optimism for future performance. When Clark returns to this evolved supporting cast, the collective capabilities could reach exceptional levels. Las Vegas faced unexpected challenges from Indiana's depth and determination. Their inability to capitalize on favorable circumstances suggests potential vulnerabilities that other opponents might exploit during crucial competitive moments. Wilson's individual excellence couldn't overcome Indiana's collective performance and determination. This outcome demonstrates how team chemistry and depth can neutralize individual advantages during extended competitive sequences. The officiating controversy overshadowed excellent basketball performance from both teams. Future games between these organizations will likely receive increased scrutiny regarding call consistency and enforcement patterns. Basketball quality remained high despite external distractions, with both teams demonstrating playoff-level intensity and execution. These competitive standards suggest both organizations possess championship potential under different circumstances. Indiana's victory provides momentum and confidence that could prove valuable throughout remaining regular season competition. Their demonstrated ability to overcome adversity established